Welcome to Merit Roofing. If you're watching this video, it means you're in training to become one of our quality installers. This video is meant to teach you our standard common practices. We want to help you to become the best you can be as a professional roofing installer. When Merit Roofing arrives at an install, our team reviews the material inventory checklist together. This ensures that our install team has all of the necessary materials and tools to perform the install correctly and efficiently. If there are any materials or tools necessary, it's important to contact the supervisor early in the day to ensure materials are on site. We also perform a safety hazardous inspection. We view the roof to assess steepness and any debris that may be present. We look for any hanging wires and where to set up our fall protection for our installation team. The lead hand is the leader of the installation team and is the person responsible for checking and ensuring the safety hazardous inspection is completed so the installation process can begin. It is the law to ensure you wear correct fall protection when working as a roofer. Please view our fall protection safety video to understand the correct way to put your fall protection on. Secure your fall protection ensuring it fits you properly and that the fit is snug. Prior to beginning, the installers must prepare the yard and the area surrounding the house by tarping areas where debris may fall from the roof during installation. These areas include decks that are not covered, flower beds, and moving furniture or breakables. The next step is gathering the fall protection ropes that secure roofers from the anchor to their fall protection. The roofing crew will then gather ladders with standoffs to ensure stability when climbing to and from the roof. The team will then bring out the compressor and make sure that the ground underneath is covered to ensure there's no damage to the property. Now our team will begin the process of removing the old roof and prepping the roof for installation. Firstly though, our crew needs to secure the anchor for the fall protection to the roof. Then the anchor is tested to ensure it can hold bearing weight. Your fellow team member will be the person connecting your fall protection for you. Fall protection ropes are connected to the anchor. Once connected to the anchor, then our team can commence the process of stripping the roof of the old shingles and any underlay that may be present. It will be necessary to remove any old exhaust flanges that may be present. Your lead hand has the experience to know what needs to be removed in order for the roof to be completely prepared for the beginning of install. If you're unsure of what needs removal, ask your lead hand. It's a Merit Roofing practice to clean as you go. Using a magnetic broom to pick up loose nails and metal lights is important for the crew's safety during installation and also for the client's safety when the crew is finished. Inspect wood and flashing to ensure there is no weather damage. Do a final sweep of the stripped roof and the eaves troughs. The first measurement is then taken for the chalk line. The chalk line is then marked. Then our high-quality ice and water underlay is tacked down along the edge of the plywood as it's rolled out along the span of the roof. A cut is made along the edge when the rollout is complete. Some final tacking is applied at the end of the span. On this job, our titanium underlay is then applied along the span of the roof, covering the entire surface of the roof up to the ridge. Then the process of installing the shingles can begin.
Just making sure that this vent isn't too close to this plumbing sack, which it is, so we're going to have to close off this hole and cut a new one approximately here so that these two aren't too close to each other. Yeah, I'll be covering it with this metal and then ice and water over top, and then we'll cut a new hole approximately right here. So that's that. Max vent.
Okay.
And I'll just be putting it over the new hole.
Okay. And what are you looking for when you're fitting it?
I'm just making sure it's center and that my tire line, it'll cover my tire line here so that the white line here won't be exposed once I get this on and my shingles on top.
When you make that cut, what are some of the things going through your mind?
I'm just making sure that there's you want it semi-tight, so you know, not too much of this exposed, but you also want a nice little channel for the water to be able to run right down. You don't want it butted right up against, because the water gets under, it gets stuck, and the main priority is just watershed, get the water right off the roof. So just make sure there's a nice channel here. Once I put this OD on top, it'll cover that. Put that on, make sure it's snug, make sure it's straight.
A lot of that comes down to experience, doesn't it?
Yeah, you want to be very careful when you're doing these, not to cut the rubber. This one's plastic, but a lot of them are rubber, so you got to be careful not to accidentally slice this, or you're going to have a leak.
And I've noticed just one step down from the OD and from the, you know, the vent,
Yeah.
that you left that open so that water can run off, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You have a run off here,
Yes.
and all the way down. And if it's too close here, it can get caught, and moisture stays longer than it should. You want it off right away, so that's why you leave just about almost a finger's width channel.
Once you get up here to the ridge, what are you thinking about?
So once you get to the ridge, I know how close the tar line needs to be to the ridge, so that when the capping comes on top, that these nails and the tar line are covered. So this would be too low, the cap would come to approximately here, and all this would be exposed, which you don't want. So you make sure that your tar line comes close enough to the ridge that the cap will cover that.
Blake now is making final fitting adjustments to the ice and water underlay. So this is the ice and water, and you're rolling this out right here,
Yeah.
just in the valley, correct?
Yeah, it goes on the eaves here and here, and then in the valley, and then the metal will go over top.
So along the eaves, here and here, and then in the valley, right where Blake is putting it right now, and goes up the valley, right up to the corner section of the bridge.
Then you just nail one side and push it in, and then nail the other side.
The guys now use the chalk line to mark the valley. And that tells you where to shingle up to, correct?
Yeah.
More titanium underlay is then applied above the ice and water underlay. Merit roofing installers get it right every time. Trevor and Blake really leave a clean looking valley.
Okay, for the first piece that you lay, you always want to make sure that the tar line is pretty well about an inch away from the corner, so after it's overhang, you can cut the cap back to a perfect triangle. You get a nice tip at the end. Just 2 nails in the cap, right on the tar line, and the key is making your line straight and just following the line. Nails pushing down in the center of the cap, making sure that it's tight so there's no bubbles. So when it seals properly, it sits.
Just staying right on that chalk
Right
line
on the chalk
and lining up just on the inside of your tar line.
And once you get a couple up, then you can come back. You can cut it with a straight edge. Just line a shingle up, just so it's like that. Just put it a straight edge down.
Yep.
Just to make the next point cap. Just like that. Now, Calgary, because we have such high winds at times, we always want to try to prevent shingling our cap westward. So normally we'd start here right on the gable and work our way this way, but because it's facing west and we have those high winds, I'll actually start over here so that when the wind does blow, it's blowing over the cap and not against it. Tuck it up underneath the siding. Make sure that it's secure. Now when we get to the end here, because I went the opposite way, all you do is turn the cap backwards, get it flush with the ends, straight with the line, nail it, put one more.
And that's that one that'll be exposed.
Yeah. Cut this little bit of excess back. And what you do, you just cut the colored piece off the cap, just below the tar line, and we just place that over there, covering the old nail.
Once the installation of the shingles is completed, the job of cleaning up begins for Trevor. Once he's finished sweeping, he dutifully goes to the work of cleaning up the eaves troughs while Blake works on caulking the step wall, the ridge cap, the exhaust pipe, the vent, and the OD.
Can you put a bead around the OD here? Because over time, you said.
Yeah, the rubber will expand and contract, so just keep it there so it's secure. Because if this ever comes loose, when you have the snow buildup, ice, and even when it rains, the water can penetrate through here and then into the attic. So this is just a secondary precautionary.
The guys then carry the loaded tarp to the bin, where the old roof, excess materials and garbage from the job end up. Tools and supplies are loaded back into their trailer for the next install. The site is then inspected carefully for any sign of loose debris, junk, nails and such. Another fantastic install by Merit Roofing. How good is the quality of our workmanship and product? Remember that awful roof edging? Look at the difference that some hard work and experience can make. How about the worn, unhappy valley before? Take a look at that same valley now. Trevor, Blake, and Zach did a masterful job. There was the dilapidated, rundown area around the vents. Now the roof is something you can feel good about taking a closer look at. Merit Roofing has done the job again. Any way you look at it, it is a great job. Now the day is done, and the crew can feel genuinely proud of the work they've accomplished.